Good afternoon, guys.
Good afternoon, Ms. Powell.
So today we're going to be learning about a new genre, and our genre is mystery.
Yes.
I'm going to be handing you a passage, and I want you guys to look over it, and then I'm going to ask you a couple of questions, okay? So take a moment, read over it. I'm going to give you guys a few more seconds. Guys, ready?
Yes.
Okay. Before we get into the passage, who can tell me what is, I didn't even ask the question. Put your hands in. Before we read the story, who can tell me what is the key that we would use to figure out what the story is about? Who could tell me? What's the key? Sanasi.
Character setting.
Can you speak up just a little bit louder?
Character setting, you got the motivation, problem, resolution, trait, and
Who can help Sanasi out? Makaya?
food.
And clues. Can you guys take a moment and write your key down on the side of your paper? Thank you, Sanasi. Thank you, Anaya. Thank you, Makaya. Thank you, Hussein. Thank you, Max. And thank you, Greg. Okay, so now that we have our key to help us get through this story, I'm going to read the title. The title is The Case of the Battered Bike. The Case of the Battered Bike. Who can tell me, what do we notice in our title? What do we see? Anaya.
We see that case is a situation.
The case is a situation, so you guys need to label that on the paper, that the case is your situation. Now looking at the picture, and again going back to what the title is, can you guys give me a prediction of what you think the story is going to be about? Who could tell me? What do you think the story is going to be about? Makaya.
Somebody's gonna lose their bike.
Somebody's going to lose their bike. Do we know that for sure? We don't know. So we got to figure it out. Okay? So, now I'm going to start reading through the story. First, who could tell me what our elements are? Tricky question. What are our elements? Who could tell me? Brianna.
A character setting a problem and a solution.
Absolutely. Good job. So knowing that, let's read. Finally, it was Friday afternoon. Detective Bree Cody leaned back in her chair and stretched. Then she reached for her cup of tea and returned to work. So who could tell me, what do we notice so far? What do we notice so far? Matt.
Friday afternoon is your setting.
Friday afternoon is your setting. Good job. What else do we see? What else do we see? Brianna.
A character.
A character. What might our character be, or who might our character be? Detective Bree Cody. Good job. So now let's keep reading to figure out. Now, sorry. Let's go back. Detective Bree Cody. Who could tell me, what is Detective Bree Cody's job based off her title? What is her job? What do you think her job may be? What do you think she does based off reading Detective Bree Cody? Make you wonder, right? Okay, tell me. Anaya?
Maybe she solves mysteries that other people call her for.
Exactly. Maybe she'll solve mysteries because detectives do what?
Solve mysteries.
Solve mysteries.
Any clues.
And solve clues. Good job. So now I'm going to keep reading. Suddenly a high-pitched wail cut through the silence. Cody looked up to see a small blonde girl. Her face was screwed up in a grimace. Cool word. Let's underline grimace. And she was yelling at the top of her lungs. Detective Cody noticed the girl's muddy sneakers and freshly bandaged knee. The child clung, another vocabulary word, tightly to her mother's hand. So, who could tell me what did we see in this paragraph? Seems like a lot, right? What do we see in this paragraph, Sanasi?
That grimace is a tricky word.
That grimace is a tricky word. Who can tell me what you think grimace is? I'm gonna read the sentence again. Her face was screwed up in a grimace and she was yelling at the top of her lungs. Who could tell me? What do you think grimace may mean? Husseini.
Maybe like she had her mouth open wide and she was yelling.
She had her mouth open, wide, yelling. Who else could tell me? Anaya.
Maybe grimace means that you're probably yelling too loud.
Maybe. Makaya.
I think grimace means that she has scratches on her face.
Really? Scratches on your face? Sanasi, what a great imagination.
Grimace means like she had a really mad face on her face.
Yeah, she had a really mad, disgusting face. Good job, Sanasi. So, what else did we notice? What else did we notice? Anaya.
We noticed another tricky word was clung.
Clung. Who can tell me? I'm going to read it again for you, and you can tell me what you think it may mean. The child clung tightly to her mother's hand. She clung tightly to her mother's hand. What do you mean? What do you think clung means, Max? She held. Good job. What else did we see? What else did we see? There was a lot. What else did we see? Sanasi?
That is a child that has a blonde hair.
We have a child, which is a blonde-haired girl. So what might she be? A character. Good job.
And a mom.
And the mom. Also, good job. So now, let's continue reading. Mrs. Armstrong marched up to Cody's desk and shouted, "Our neighbor Tony Rezo stole Juanita's brand new bike while she was playing in the park. What are you going to do about it?" Now, what did we read here? What did we read here? What do we notice here? Who can tell me what do we notice here, Brianna?
A problem?
A problem. Can you tell me what our problem was?
Tony stole Juanita's brand new bike while she was playing in the park.
Good job. What else did we notice here? What else did we notice here, Sanasi?
Another thing that Mr. Armstrong was a character.
Say that again.
Mr. Armstrong was a character.
Mrs. Armstrong is a character. What else did we notice? Husseini?
That Tony Rizzo was a character.
Also, good job. Tony Rizzo's a character. What else? What else, Anaya?
We noticed that Tony Rizzo stole Juanita's brand new bike when she was playing tennis in Brooklyn.
Right. Just like Brianna said earlier. What else did we notice, Sanasi?
That park is a setting.
Park is definitely a setting here. Good job. So now let's continue reading. Bree grabbed her old frayed cuff caps and set it on her head. "Let's go to the park," she said calmly. "Juanita, can you show me exactly what happened?" Who could tell me what we noticed here? Makaya.
That's a clue.
It's definitely a clue. So label that as a clue. Class is almost over. That's what that means. That is a clue. So let's keep reading to find more information to help us solve this mystery. When they arrived at the park, Juanita led her mother and the detective to the swings. "I was playing on a swing," she explained. "My bike was parked at the end of this row." Bree carefully inspected the gravel around the swings to see if she could find any evidence of tire tracks. She found none. What do we notice here? Sanasi. Another clue. And what clue would that be?
That she didn't find no tire track line from the little goose.
Good job. Can somebody read the next sentence for me? Husseini.
The last time you saw your bike, it was parked here. Bree inquired.
What do we notice there? What do we notice there, Micaiah?
Inquired.
Inquired. What does inquired mean? What does inquired? Husseini.
Maybe that means like she said something.
Yes, she did say something, but I need you guys to get a little bit more specific. Put on your thinking cap. What does inquired mean when you inquire about something? Let's read again. The last time you saw your bike, it was parked here, Bree inquired. What does inquired mean, Hanaya?
Maybe it means that we said.
She said, so she asked a question. She's inquiring about something. When you're inquiring about something, you want to know the answer to it. So you have to ask a question in order to inquire about something, right? Yes. So let's keep reading. Who can read the next couple of sentences for me, Micaiah?
Well, no, Juanita sniffs. I saw Tony West take my bike and ride it out of the park a few minutes before Mom came to pick me up. The girl began whipping again.
The word is weeping, so read that sentence again.
Well, no, Juanita sniffed. I saw Tony Rizzo take my bike and ride it out of the park a few minutes before Mom came to pick me up. The girl began weeping again.
Good job. What did we notice there? What did we notice there? Who could tell me? What do we notice there? What did we notice there in that little passage? Max? A clue. And what might that clue be?
That she saw Tony Rizzo take her bike out of the park.
Good job. So now let's keep on reading. Who can read the next passage? Who can read the next passage? Somebody besides Sanasi and Micaiah. Anaya.
As the three of them continued searching the park, they found Juanita's bike stuck in the mud by the duck. The front wheels was twisted and bent. Bree saw a small sneakers print in the mud leading away from the bike. The detective said, Juanita, no one stole your bike.
So, based off of what we read, can somebody tell me what do we notice there? What do we notice there? What do we notice there, Sanasi?
That is a resolution.
It is a resolution. Good job. So what do we notice? What do we notice at the end of our story? What do we notice? What do we notice, Max?
That nobody stole her bike.
That nobody stole her bike. So now let's turn the page. So now let's answer the question. The question says, to summarize the mystery, make sure to include important story elements like character, setting, problem, and solution, and be sure to use the details from across the story. So, when trying to write or answer this question, what do we use? What do we use in order to help us solve this correctly or answer this correctly? What do we use, Anaya?
SIWBST.
SIWBST. What does the S mean? What does your S mean? Don't call out anything. What does your S mean, Sanasi? Somebody. So I need you to put somebody or S for somebody. What does your I mean? What does your I mean? Anaya. You're in. What does your W mean? What does your W mean, Micaiah?
Wanted.
Wanted. Good job. What about your B? What does your B mean? Max. Good job. But. And what does the second S mean, Sanasi? So. And the last, what does T mean, Usaini? Then. Good job. So by reading the question again, can we point out some skills that we need to use to write the answer to this story or this problem? What